it's MoriMademoiselle here with a video. Today we are finishing the 3-part series. It was supposed to be 2, it ended up being 3 of giving and getting constructive criticism. Now, obviously I'm going to come at it more from a Lolita-centric point of view, but this also could apply to literally anything, including like drawing, like singing, artists and crafts. Lolita is 100% a creative medium. You are creating art on your body, is like how I like to say it. So obviously there's going to be people out there who have their own personal style. There are going to be people out there who will not listen to you ever, and I will refer them to my first video, which I'll link in the title card right here. Go check that out if you haven't already. If you're just joining me today, welcome. You're in for a treat. But if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I really appreciate it. My last 2 videos were scripted, and this one is unscripted. The videos before that were unscripted as well, so I'm just trying to figure out what I like better. So we're gonna get right into the meat and bones of this little discussion video. Now we are talking about giving constructive criticism. Now this kind of seems like it would be a little bit more of a straightforward, like, just tell them how you feel. Who cares? They deserve to know that their coordinate sucks. Don't do that. Like, as much as maybe you dislike the person behind it, or you just dislike the dress, or you dislike the sub-style even, it's just don't. You know, there's that beautiful rule of if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. And that goes doubly for somebody who's very clearly new. Don't be a jerk. That's kind of all I have to say about that. If you are going to give constructive criticism, it needs to be constructive, first of all. That's like my first point, is constructive criticism. That is not going and posting a reaction GIF or a reaction image of just in the comments, because that's really mean, and you're gonna make people not want to do the fashion anymore. And if that's your goal, you should reevaluate yourself. And if you're really in the community because you don't want anybody else to be in the community, you should leave the community, because honestly, people like that are not welcome. And I really, really despise people who think that a certain genre of things that people can like is not allowed to be liked by anybody else, or by, like, you know, I mean, that's the literal definition of gatekeeper. You are sitting here picking and choosing people who are allowed to be in the fashion and people who are not allowed to be in the fashion, and just because you think that a person who's new, who may not know really even anything about the fashion, is just trying something out with like their Hot Topic JSK. You know, the whole point of constructive criticism is to get people better and to help them and to keep them in the community and have them grow and, you know, someday become a really, really good, you know, coordinator. I guess that's the way to call it. If you're sitting here and you're saying your first coordinate or even your 10th coordinate is trash garbage and you need to leave because I think this is horrible, and I'm just gonna post a really spicy reaction GIF in the comments for the lol points, don't. Like, the only person who looks bad in this situation is you. Yeah, you might get like 3 chuckles from the other like CGL members and the other people on the Ruffle Chat Facebook group who decided to post, you know, pictures onto other like salt groups trying to get spicy reactions. Like, everybody, a lot of people are in salt groups. I'm in salt groups, but there's a difference between having fun and just kind of like poking a little fun at a certain situation, and then like brutally just being cruel to a person trying their best. And that really actually genuinely pisses me off when I see people just rip and tear into a person who like just really just needs a little bit of help. Now, if the person doesn't want to take criticism and says that everything that they're doing is literally the best thing to ever happen ever, there we have a problem. And like I said before, I will direct them to my first video and you can learn how to take constructive criticism, because you are not going to go anywhere in this world if you can't learn how to take constructive criticism. Like, sorry, point blank, gonna stop you right there, chief. If you cannot take constructive criticism, you will fail. Sorry, that's just how it is. Now, got off on a tangent there. Let me bring it back. I'm gonna help you give constructive criticism well. Okay, you see I'm gonna give you two little examples. First, you see somebody who has a really solid, you can tell that they have a solid understanding of what they're doing, and you can tell that they kind of know what's up, and they have the basics down, and they have the like fundamentals of Lolita kind of hammered out in their outfit. So you know, okay, this person's been around the block, they kind of know what they're going on. And there's in those two examples that I'm going to give, this is the first one, there's usually two different, you know, ways that they're coming at it. The first kind is I know that there's something wrong with this outfit. That's kind of the most common one that I've seen, that it's like, hey, I have this outfit and I kind of know that there's something off about it. Can somebody help me figure out what's wrong? Those are going to be hands down the easiest ones to respond to. Literally, you don't need to worry about any kind of flavor text or any kind of like, oh my gosh, you're so cute, I love it, it's excellent. You can literally just be like, oh yeah, from what I can see, if you changed your blouse color, that might, you know, bring in your leg wear and your shoes and your accessories in better and not drown out the print as much. Cool. Excellent, wonderful, beautiful, excellent, beautiful, excellent. Second is this is my outfit. I think it's awesome. I'm really comfortable with it. Concrete appreciated. Don't leave concrete on a post that doesn't say leave concrete. If you really feel like you want to have something to say, it's always good to say, hey, you know, is it okay? I saw something that I would personally change. Do you accept constructive criticism? I would be careful with that, only because the whole do you accept constructive criticism can be read as aggressive. Like, I know that that's probably not your intention to sound aggressive when you say something like that, but to a person who took that step to be vulnerable on the internet and put the time into assembling a post, that could be read as pretty aggressive. So I would, unless you've seen the person in the past and you've like, you know who they are, kind of like, I'm not saying you know who they are in real life, but like you've interacted with them before, I would stay away from that. If they say no concrete, please don't leave concrete. That one is gonna be your easiest one, aside from the other one that I said that was the easiest one. Just don't do it. Don't leave it, even if it's horrible. Keep walking. It's fine. Maybe they know it's horrible. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they don't want your opinion. Maybe that day they felt really bad and that was the one thing that made them feel really good. Don't go out there and ruin it for people. The second kind of interactions that you're gonna get are like newbies who, you know, either it's their first coordinate or they're making a coordinate. That one happens a lot. So, hi sweetie. Oh, he's just exploring right now. He didn't want me to touch him, but I touched him anyway. So you're gonna get people who are, you know, either making a coordinate or it's already their first coordinate and they're showing it off, or, you know, maybe it's their first couple coordinates in, or maybe it's a veteran who just, you know, one day just didn't hit the mark. And that's fine. That happens to everybody. It happens to me. I do it all the time. I live in mistakes. It's great. So in those cases, you have a couple different options here. If the person acknowledges like, hey, this is my first coordinate, I'm super excited about it, this is the best thing I've ever made, and they say concrete appreciated, you know, welcome them into the community. That would be your first step, is go, oh my gosh, that's so great, I'm so glad you joined us, this is wonderful. And obviously you don't need to say everything I say verbatim. Oh, he meowing. I love him. I love him. Anyway, so welcome them into the community. This might be their first time. They've never had interaction. You know, make sure that they know that this is a place where they can experiment, and they can experiment comfortably. Then, you know, let them know after your introduction of, you know, saying, hi, welcome, glad you're here. Let them know the things that you like about it, and then the things that you would improve on. Don't say the things that you dislike about it. Say, I don't like those shoes, figure it out. You know, always come with a solution to the table, because a lot of the times when people are looking for constructive criticism, it's because they don't know what to change. They don't know they know something's wrong, they don't know what's wrong, and your job is to tell them what's wrong and how to fix it. That's the only way things are going to get better. Because if you keep letting people stew and like flail and tread water, they're going to one of two things. They're either going to get really fed up and just leave, or they're going to keep making the same mistake over and over and over again, and they get really frustrated and then lash out because now they're upset that they haven't been getting any help. And that right there is going to be, hi Nero, that right there is going to be two very bad endings to a potentially easy to solve problem. From there, you're going to have the other people who are, you know, they might be, you know, a veteran in the fashion, and they are just really just missing their mark. And at that point, it's kind of like you don't have to sandwich them with a million things that you like about their outfit and a billion responses of, oh my gosh, you're the best. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. The only thing is I would change your head bow color. Like, people at that point will know that you're being superficial. It's better to be honest with somebody, gently honest. Brutally honest is, I don't like being brutally honest unless I know the person personally, but gently honest is always your best way to go, because you're not risking the inevitable blowouts that you will see. There are some people who will always just be angry about receiving constructive criticism, and those people you're just not going to change. You can give them all the information in the entire world that you will ever want to give them, and they just don't care at that point. And that's just, unfortunately, that's where the road ends for that person. If they're not willing to listen to you, they're not worth your time. When you're giving constructive criticism, if you receive a little bit of pushback, which is always, you know, pretty inevitable for your first time, saying like, oh, well, I don't have any money to, I don't have the time to, I don't have the resources to, etc., 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 offer to help them if you have time. You're never obligated to be somebody's mentor. You're never obligated to be somebody's like babysitter, in a sense, like whether academic babysitter or in real life babysitter. That is something that I would just say, if you have the time and you're willing to, be like, why don't I show you real quick? Or like, here, let me link you a couple of resources on how to shop on a shopping service, how to, you know, do all of these things yourself. And at that point, you might receive a little bit of kind of openness. People are naturally defensive. They will get defensive really out the drop of a hat. If they feel threatened, they will close themselves off. The whole giving constructive criticism is figuring out how to get past the defensiveness. And all it is, you know, reread it out loud. Reread your responses out loud. If you feel comfortable saying that or having somebody say that to you. Also keep in mind that people have different tolerances. Some people need a little bit more of like the gentle talk, and some people need, you know, a little bit more direct. And being able to read that, obviously your first time interacting with somebody on Facebook is going to be a roll of the dice. You don't know how this person's going to respond, but if they respond negatively from the constructive criticism that you gave, just say, hey, I was just trying to offer you some advice. If that's not something you were interested in, that's okay. And if you want to leave some resources that they can read on their own, go for gold. If you want to just leave it at that, leave it at that. If you don't even want to respond, that is totally okay too. Disengaging is valid as hell. Just don't be an asshole. Anyway, if you liked today's video, I would very much appreciate a big ol' thumbs up. And if you want to keep joining me on my journey as you are so far and enjoying some tea with me, hit that subscribe button. Other than that, if you have any questions, let me know. Today was another unscripted video. Like I said, the past two ones that I did were fully scripted. I would really appreciate your opinions on, do you like unscripted versions? Do you like scripted versions? Do you want a combination of something? Is my rambly ass mess okay for you? Let me know. These are things that I'm interested in hearing. I'm starting my YouTube career. I say career like I'm gonna be super famous, but like my YouTube kind of video journaling in a sense of my thoughts on certain matters. But yeah, I'd really like to hear what you have to think. Anyway, with that, I would like to thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!